The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Oh, you would think it was Nikki. Hi, I'm Nikki Glaser. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We have so many things to go over. Why I love meat and what it does for my body. You know what I love about meat? I'll tell you what it is. Here's my top three things.
How dare you?
I'm on an ancestral diet. Ancestral
diet? Yeah.
I just do 10 different things and I get the perfect lean body that everyone should do and kill a cow and live your life. Prosper. Shoot it with an AK-47. Do whatever you want. I love it. Don't do therapy. It's for losers. That's what I believe. That's who I am.
Nikki's changed so much.
Thank you so much.
Here's a book by Dave Truck. It's about how to start
would
smoking.
have more respect for you if you killed the cows you ate.
Wait, who's eating a cow and not killing it? No one's doing that.
No, she means if you actually butchered the cow.
Not with these little hands. What am I going to choke it to death? Can you imagine strangling, getting on top of a cow and just... No. You would just rather it just be killed in a compound, Noah. How are you doing, Noah? Noah's in Arizona. Chris Convey's here in St. Louis, and Nikki's here in St. Louis. Now,
Chris told me about her animal death last night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is
What
it
happened?
the dog / coyote
Wait, what?
/ wolf?
Wait, is this a news story or is this something
Yeah,
that you
some
remember?
idiot
This is-
woman. Some idiot woman.
No, do you follow Instagram like murder?
Hunting?
Yeah. Things dying.
No, I can't follow that stuff. It's too negative.
You know,
But
the
it's a
coyote-
story that's been all over the news.
The coyote, what? What were you saying?
There's a coyote problem in Los Angeles, and the coyotes will go into houses and kill. If there's a doggy door or something, some of the coyotes will get in the house and do some damage. It's bad. It's really ugly. But yeah, Nikki and I were
They
watching.
start a podcast in there?
The coyotes?
That does sound damaging.
It's not those
Nikki
kind
and
of
I
coyotes.
started rewatching Fleabag last night,
Ah.
and yeah, it's awesome. It is really awesome.
I can see you as a hot priest. I can see. Honestly.
Well, you know what,
Halloween's
that hot-
coming.
Yeah, hot. We could be them.
What would Nikki be?
We actually haven't talked about Halloween in any way, shape, or form, but Nikki's going to be gone for most of it.
I have never been more turned on than that priest storyline.
You've never, yeah. We were talking about that priest storyline. I didn't realize it takes a long time to get to the priest, and that's when the show really becomes the best, one of the best television comedies of all time. It takes a little bit to get there, and you don't really remember that. But we've been sort of when does priest show up?
Well, you need him to balance her because she's such an unlikable character. You need God. You need Jesus Christ for someone to like a woman with an opinion.
Doesn't he come in the second season, though?
Yes, he shows
is
up
he
in the second season, but you don't realize that how important and crucial he is for it, for Fleabag to be one of the best shows of all time. So on the radio show that I do, we talked about Rolling Stone just came out with the list of the top 100 TV shows of all time, and we had to guess which ones we thought were maybe in the top 10. And I didn't even
All time? Can I try?
All time. Yeah, you can try, and I'll remember most of them.
Cheers.
Cheers is in there. I think it was number 8.
Seinfeld.
Welcome
was
home,
in
Nikki
there.
Welcome
Welcome Home, Nikki Glaser was
Just the first season.
was number 11. Yeah.
MASH.
MASH was, I think, 14
Golden
or
Girls.
something.
They had to throw a woman in.
Golden Girls wasn't in there. Well, I think it was in the top
What?
100. It just wasn't in the top 10.
Shit. I guess, yeah, that's
The
kind of where I
Simpsons.
clank out.
You can think HBO. Get into the HBO range.
The HBO range. Not Boardwalk Empire. Although
God,
that's
no.
for me. That I love.
Really?
That movie. Oh my god.
Okay, so Sopranos, I think, was number 1. The Wire was up there. Breaking Bad was up there. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I think The
Can I say
Office was in there
Sopranos?
some way.
I'm gonna get
Yeah, but-
overrated
but-
to me. For
Yes,
me. For
okay.
me.
Well,
'cause-
that's actually next time I'm on, I'm going to do overrated, underrated.
Okay.
And that's one of them but it's only overrated because when you go back, you've seen, the ancestry of the shows that came after it.
ancestral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham drip.
And you
That's
see,
what Soprano would eat. and that's why he's dead.
Sopranos started
Yeah.
something that all other shows have sort of copied in a way, and they've improved upon it. So when you go back and watch Sopranos, people will be like, oh, it's not as good as everybody says. But at the time, it was groundbreaking and it was amazing. Oh, Mary Tyler Moore was number 10. Number 9,
what it is?
Atlanta.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like Atlanta.
Yeah.
Although it fell off a little this season. I don't want to talk too much shit on it. But
Okay.
Glover's just not in it anymore. He's just like, how can I do the least work possible
yeah.
and give other people shine, which is nice. He's probably doing something else that's brilliant. He really is incredible. But this past episode or past season, it was one of those things where it was like he'd pop in every 4th episode. And he's like, I'm in it for you. Like, I came here
I
for
cannot
you.
believe how much TV the people in my life watch.
TV's awesome.
What are you reading books in your study over there?
Reading a quarter of books. Cheers is number 8. Let's
Okay.
see, what else do we got here? Mad Men number 7. Yeah, that was one we missed. Seinfeld is 6. Fleabag is number 5.
Wait, what?
The second season of Fleabag really is one of the greatest things that I've ever seen in television, and I can't wait to get. So we're on probably episode 4 or 5 of season 1.
Are you doing quality over quantity though? Because there's only 2 seasons. Do
To
you
me, to
think
me it doesn't matter? It's about moments and it's about the way it makes you feel afterwards. Because it's like that like you get punched right by these shows, and then like how does it stick around for a while? Like,
do you want to see it again? I
Fleabag
mean, you guys
really
went
is
back
my
in.
favorite show. With Veep and 30 Rock and Seinfeld and Mad Men.
And those are all you could watch again if they come back on. That's I think the main ingredient for a great show is if I'm in a room and I'm flipping through and a movie like a movie like what's a movie that
Shawshank is one of those. It's like always on TBS, and you get on it.
no
you're
matter
like, yep,
where you get
let's
in,
do it.
you're like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sitting down. Oh, your mom's funeral? I don't care. I gotta watch and see if Dufresne is getting out.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna use the little rock thing. He's gonna get out of there.
I'm going to start everything I say with okay, I'm about to say something.
I'm going to start everything with, okay, I'm about to say something.
Oh,
yeah, because
so it
doesn't cut
it's hard
off.
for Nikki to interject.
Oh yeah, by the way, Nikki got vocal cord surgery. If you never listened to this podcast, or if you just listened to yesterday and you thought Nikki is doing a new character to get ready for a new show she's doing called Nikki Glaser, I Fucked a Robot and We Had a Kid, and this is what it sounds like, season 4. Nikki got vocal cord surgery. She hasn't been able to speak for 3 weeks. We're all betting on that it keeps going for as many years as possible.
Betting or hoping?
I don't know. I bet the over.
I'll take the under.
Andrew's
I think
at
we're
the
gonna get her back.
OTB.
I think we're going to get her back soon.
Yeah. Oh my God. We should do that with our listeners out there. Like, when can Nikki talk again? And if you win, you Venmo me $48. No. What's your favorite TV show? Like a one about Sex Pistols or something? Something
The Simpsons.
hardcore.
Okay,
That's
I
the
am
one that I
about
can-
to say something.
Okay.
I always take the under with chairs.
Always take the under with Chris. It's a short joke, and it would have worked great. It would have worked great.
How tall were you at like?
You-
How tall were you at like 14? Were you
this tall.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been this tall the whole time, basically.
Do you think it's worse to grow early and stay, or grow later, and then get to not the best height ever?
I think at the end of the day, it's probably better to get tall.
Early.
Wait, so what's the question?
So my question is, I was always the shortest in my grade.
I am about to say something. It was not a short joke. It was a joke about me always being under him in bed.
Noah loved it. God, I do love my British boyfriend.
Okay, my tall question, Chris, is that I
Okay, back to Chris being short.
was I like that. If you're, I was very short growing up, around 4'11" until I was like 14, like insanely small. Then I grew to eventually 5'9". It felt great to get to that growth spurt to get to 5'9".
Yeah.
Now, if I started around 5'8", 5'9" in 7th grade and never, you would have thought that you would have had another peak.
Yeah, I would have thought at least.
But for that
14
year,
more
you were
inches
the
from here.
fucking man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was great. I was, it was amongst the taller. Like, I wasn't the tallest, but I was just like, I was up there. And then, my two like best friends were, like 6 inches, like 8 inches shorter than me, and they're both at least 4 inches taller than me right now. At least.
Ah,
Yeah, at least.
yeah.
What about for a girl, Glaze? Like,
I am about to say something. When did you realize it was never gonna happen for you, Chris?
probably right now when you just said that. What about
Oh, you
Glaze?
think you're
Because-
still growing?
Yeah. Oh, God, I would do anything. So would Glaze.
Would you wear heels? Not heels, but like those like.
Healy thinks no. No, I don't.
Would you judge a man? No. Would you judge a man if he was wearing shoes that had?
little.
You get home at night. He goes, "Hey, no shoes in the house," and he kicks them off, and he goes to about 5'3", and when you met him, he was 5'10". Would you be like, "I don't want to sleep with you," or were you like, "Hey, this is kind of secure in a way"?
So I don't. The height thing, I'm not affected by it, but if there's some kind of like manipulation of it in that way, I would probably be a little. Well, not a little, but a
So you
lot.
think
I
there's-
am about to talk.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys have to Google Simon Cowell shoes.
Oh
He
my.
wears heels and always has bootcut or flared jeans. It is disgusting.
But the flared jeans is definitely disgusting. Glaze, what about you? Because you're a tall drink of water.
Okay, but a girl takes her fake eyelids off. She takes her makeup off. She takes her heels off. You take your bra off. You take your Spanx off. You get ready to fuck. And the guy, all he does is take off one pair of Heely shoes, and he's a piece of shit. Noah, what do you think?
I think,
you
I
said
think
you were
what
gonna.
Nikki's going to say is that we don't take that off in front of the guy. We take it off in secret after he's fallen asleep after he comes.
Oh, so do you think he should leave his shoes on while he's fucking you?
No.
No.
what I'm
Well, then
saying.
you can't win.
I am about to talk. I wish guys wore heels. I just hate Simon's jeans.
So it's more than wear the heels. You got to wear shorts with them. Don't try to fake it. Tom Cruise, I think, also wears bigger shoes.
Yeah.
I am about to talk. Nikki, what is your being in high school? Oh shoot! Are we over?
Oh my God. So Simon Cowell.
Oh, these are.
He's wearing
Simon
straight
Cowell's
up. Those are antlers. Those are not antlers. Deer feet. Whatever those are called.
God,
Hooves.
that is not a good look. But man, when you have an ego like his, you do whatever you want and you say, "Yep, this is fine. This is good. This works."
Yeah, there is.
I am about to talk. It's not like I wish they wore heels, but that does not bother me.
Right, but height doesn't bother you. You know, like
Yeah.
you're not worried about how tall a guy is. It doesn't affect you.
Yes, I am
think-
height blind.
So,
There's
but
something-
I think what
We know.
Andrew's asking is if one day Chris came home wearing platform shoes, didn't tell you he was going to get them, just shows up in the apartment with platforms, what would be your
6'3".
reaction? I think is what Andrew's trying to
Get
figure
down
out.
on a knee and propose.
and take them off.
I would not care at all, and I probably would not notice.
Yeah, I think I don't know. There's a level of confidence that Simon Cowell has, wherever it comes from. There's something about him rocking heels with long jeans to cover it up, where he's like scared
Yes.
for people to know. While also having the most confidence, or at least it comes off that way in the world of being like, I'm perfect.
Yeah, I know a guy who has these shoes. Like Adidas makes shoes that are like heels on the inside, so they look like just like
Yeah.
you're wearing cool Adidas basketball shoes, but his heel is at least 3 inches higher than it is. But you know, there are like studies and stuff out there. I didn't look these up on my own. There's just things that I've just seen over the years.
What are you looking?
Where it's the same thing with like beautiful people.
Yeah.
Get paid more, and tall. It's the same thing with tall people. Like tall people get more respect, and they get more promotions, and they end up getting paid more as well. It's like the same sort of.
Yeah, every president's like 6 feet or taller, pretty much. So, I don't. Do you think you get tricked by things like that? I guess I do. I feel like I would like to be smarter to be like, but I've been around like when we're around like those fuckboys on Fuckboy Island, and they're all fucking jacked and they're tall. I'm like, I want you to like me because you have an Adonis body, and I kind of want to. Maybe I want to fuck you. Like no, but like in my mind, like I like put them on this pedestal where it's like they don't deserve it, but I think I can get tricked by that stuff. You know what I mean? Like. But why is that? Why do we like bigger? Because of evolution? Because
I am about to talk. You guys have no clue when we wear makeup or do things that are artificial to make us hot. You guys are clueless.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'm blind to a lot of plastic surgery. You know, Nikki will be like, oh yeah, that person's done this, this, and this. And I'm like, what? Or like the hair extension things we talked about the other day. Like, I didn't know that every single woman on television basically wears hair extensions. I had no idea. But yeah, I don't pay attention to that stuff.
What I would love is a guy who was like 5'9", who got like fucking those heel things, and it made him like 6'8", and he played college ball. But he got so good. He was like wearing stilts, but he got so good that he could play college basketball. And then but on the roster, it's like he's 5'9", but he wears 9-inch heels.
Oh, Nikki just wrote a note to me. We compared me not being able to see, plastic surgery in people, in women in particular, like Botox and all that stuff, and lip injections and all the plastic surgery, to Nikki not being. We watched A League of Their Own, the new TV show. It's all CGI, like the baseball, all the pitching, like the hitting, it's all the CGI baseball. And you were like, this is crazy that they were like, oh yeah, this will pass as like baseball motions.
Yeah.
And Nikki didn't notice at all, but it's all CGI baseball and it looks ridiculous.
Oh.
Well, it's like when Kenny Powers in Eastbound and Down, when he pitches, he has the worst form. And for someone that knows sports,
Yes.
it really bothers me.
Yes.
That's why The Natural's so great, because Robert Redford
He got game.
and what's his name has Kevin Costner, great baseball player. So they could play those roles, and I'm like, yeah, I could. But then once I see a shitty throw,
Yes,
I'm out of it.
Yeah. Same with every football movie you ever see. If there's a guy that's playing the quarterback, Noah, do you ever see these movies and be like, oh yeah, that guy doesn't know jujitsu?
Yeah, with like the self-defense stuff, absolutely it sticks out. Like, that's not how it works.
My favorite thing is to ask if Chris thinks someone is actually good at sports or not when people are playing on TV, and my favorite thing to say is if that's her actual nose or not.
Actual nose.
Yes. Like there's a person on A League of Their Own who was getting up to bat, and she like took a swing and got a good hit and stuff. And Nikki was like, "Who do you think that she? Do you think how was that?" And I was like, "Actually, that one, she's pretty good. She looked pretty good to me." And Nikki said that in an interview, somebody said that actress was a natural at hitting, and so like she looked good. But some of them swing the bat, and you're like, "This is."
Well, I think when you become an actor, you're either a failed athlete or you've been a theater kid your whole life.
Right.
So you can either throw or you can act.
But that means
on that note, we're gonna wrap up here on the first thing here. We're gonna take a break and we're gonna come back and find out what happened to that robot after it took heroin.
Burning questions for Bob.
Oh, that's like, it makes me sad a little bit.
Rest
That's
in
for Bob
peace.
Saget. I think that was done before Bob passed away, when he was on the show.
It was for when
Not
he was a guest
after,
on
I
the
mean,
show. Yeah.
I guess they're for Bob, not from Bob, which would make sense. So we've decided to do our own questions. Not for Bob, but with Bob in mind. Bob can't be here or anywhere. Okay, so we're just going to get to him. We gave Nikki some questions before the show for her to answer, knowing that she can only speak like a robot.
Well, to answer your question, Chris's question about my height from last segment. I grew so slowly during high school. I did not start hearing that I was tall until I was in adulthood, so I never overnight got tall or got boobs. I remember the first time a guy said I had a hot body, and I will never forget it. It was my junior year, and it was at my parents' pool at night, and I heard him tell someone the next day that I had a hot bod.
God, you must have loved that. Junior year in high school? Oh,
Man, just hearing in that dude's voice.
First, I want to say that the way I am writing for this voice is not the way I usually would write. I am not going to use contractions because this voice doesn't know how to use them. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So instead of doesn't, I'm going to say does not. I am going to often repeat subjects too because the word I and he and you are sometimes missed out on. I might also start sentences with more of a worthless lead up because it is hard for this voice not to interrupt because there is a delay from when I press play and it actually starts playing, so oftentimes it will interrupt someone.
gotcha.
That's
Roger
fine.
that.
All right, so first question. You haven't been able to speak for almost 3 weeks. Do you think after this experience you will be afraid to speak as much or want to?
So to answer your question, I want to continue to value what I spend my voice on from now on. I was talking to a comic, Josh Adam Myers, who had the same surgery, and he said that his voice has gone back to being shitty again because he just went back to doing what he was doing before. This experience of not talking for 3 weeks has made me realize that you do not need to talk as much as you talk. Not just me, but really anyone. There are so many worthless things I have wanted to say but did not say just because they were going to take too long to communicate, or by the time I typed them the subject would seem moot. And it made me realize that I did not look back with regret that I did not say those things.
You do lament some jokes that you didn't get to tell. Like on the radio show, there was things that you knew would have killed if you could have done it in the moment. My favorite part was when you and my brother had the exact same joke and you beat him to it typing. And he could use the full force of his voice, and he's really funny.
Yeah.
But like Nikki chimed in, Jack Johnson, like a split second before he did, and everybody was like,
That was one of my proudest comedic moments.
like, even typing, she beat another comic at a joke.
I love this voice.
Also,
Oh, yes.
to add to all of this, Josh Adam Myers told me about the lead singer of Evanescence. I think her name is Amy.
Yep.
He said that when she is working, she does not talk all day. Anya said the same thing about the guy she just toured with, Eric Hutchinson. Both he and that Evanescence girl do not talk all day if they have a performance. They do not socialize unless it is absolutely necessary. So I am going to do the same thing. I am not going to socialize just to be nice or take calls or Zoom meetings just out of being polite.
Good.
I need to treat my voice like an athlete treats their body. I doubt that Tom Brady is using his body to help his friends move just to be a swell guy. I can't risk injury to be polite anymore.
I would love for you to treat your body like Tom Brady treats his body. You know.
Oh, hey. I was like, help you move? No, it's
That's a good point about helping somebody move.
it's a great out. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
this is like you. I have kids to get back to.
Yeah.
I can't help you.
Yeah,
I mean,
same-
this is fantastic. I wish I
just
had a
spent
disability.
$45,000 on this with no insurance covering it, so I am not going to do anything I do not want to do anymore.
Wow.
Self-care.
Fucking- Why does the insurance cover something like that? Deep throat
Well-
surgery? Nothing?
Kind of.
No,
Collective bitch.
Fuck, dude. Damn. Came at me hard, too. You really elected to take some liberties there.
Do you want to move on to
Asshole.
the next question? No,
No.
not yet.
Not yet, Noah.
Okay. I'm just eager.
That was Andrew.
I miss being able to say funny things in the moment and have them land. The delay can definitely be funny, but I miss out on way more punchlines than I get from having this British man robot voice. These 3 weeks have made me realize how quick and funny I really am because I have been stuck inside my head and watching jokes pass me by.
Wow.
I feel like I am Lucy Arnaz in that one episode of I Love Lucy where she and Ethel are working on an assembly line, and I just have to let really hilarious quips go because they will not work anymore and the perfect moment passed.
she's stuffing them in her mouth. And
I remember that, yeah.
If people haven't seen that I Love Lucy scene, it's kind of the iconic I Love Lucy moment, and it's something worth looking up. But it's basically, you'd say like I Love Lucy Chocolate Factory or something.
Where she's like running out of time
Yeah.
and it's getting faster and faster and she's trying to keep
Number
up.
35 best show of all time, baby.
I love this voice that you're doing because it's like I feel like I'm at like a planetarium where you, or like I went to the aquarium recently. Any M, and it's like it's telling you the story of the lobster or whatever.
You
That's
respect me more because it is a man.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I want to learn more from you. Like if you taught
I'm
me,
British.
He's more attracted to you as well.
I am watching this show all about Wrexham. Have you seen that? With
Wrexham?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
Damn near killed him.
Hey man, look.
Thank you, Noah. I'm sorry to everybody else who had to listen to that.
I love
No,
the
what
dad
is that?
jokes.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought a soccer team.
Oh yeah.
It's decent. I don't know. It actually makes me not like them more.
Is it
the more I
is it
find
a
out about celebrities.
docu-series?
Yeah, it's like a docu-series.
Here's something that I feel very, very strongly about. Like Hailey Bieber was on some podcast talking about their...
Oh, yeah.
This was a news story today or last night or something.
Yes.
Kind of getting into a little bit of their like personal lives and like, you know...
Her and Bieber?
Yeah. Like
Justin?
If
yeah.
they do threesomes.
Intimate moments and things like that.
Yeah.
All of these people that are like pop stars, singers, they all need to go. Need to get to a certain level and then become Rihanna, Beyonce, Taylor, and be like, do not give people too much.
What did she say?
Beyonce, 20 years disappear, because Beyonce right now we think of her as this like ethereal, otherworldly, like she might as well be like this like God from another planet right now, because we don't know anything about her. You know, we only know what she gives us in those documentaries about her. She's like, I work so hard, you know, and so we don't know much about her. And even Rihanna, she went kind of dark on social media, but she used to be a menace out there, like talking trash and being hilarious. They shut all that stuff out to be like these kind of ethereal human beings who we can almost like godlike. And the more we get, like, we should know about too much about Bieber. Like Bieber should be playing.
So what
things
did you
close to
learn
the
though
vest.
about Justin Bieber? Like what did she give up?
Just
I need to say something. I will never be able to do that. My whole celebrity is based on oversharing. Your talent has to be something other than talking about your personal life.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about musicians. I'm talking about like
But do you
Rihanna,
think
Beyonce
that-
types. Because
Do you think it was Rihanna and Beyonce who made that choice, or was it their team that told them, hey, this is probably good for your professional?
Sure, it was a mixture of both.
probably a bunch of that. But Rihanna or Beyonce was on a episode of what's the Ashton Kutcher show that was like his first
70s show?
Punk'd, yeah, that show.
Oh, Punk.
And she didn't come off looking great. You know, some people come off and they look great, and she just looked, you know, confused and just not who we know Beyonce to be right now. And I think at that moment, I have no idea. Somebody was like, we're shutting this down, and she's becoming something else, like something that people can't like wrap their heads around. And now she's the biggest thing on the planet. She can do anything.
I mean, the only thing we know about Beyonce that's like personal that necessarily wouldn't be out there is that Jay-Z cheated on her, and that was through a song.
Highly curated.
Yeah. All these things are
Rihanna
very
has
curated.
some of the funniest clapbacks on tweets in the past, and then she shut it down.
Did you see the Ciara tweet?
I will be sure to read some of them when I can use my voice again.
Can I paraphrase the Ciara
It's not
tweet?
worth getting into now.
Oh man, I might.
This was
butcher
years
this.
ago with CR?
This was probably like 12 years ago or something, or maybe like 10 years ago. But Ciara said, "Oh, Nikki's pulling up, so I don't have to." Trust me, Rihanna, you don't want to see me on or off the stage. And Rihanna clapped back. Good luck with booking that stage you speak of.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Noah likes it.
I mean, look, but then there's the
Rihanna.
other thing though. Like Cardi B leans into that, and it makes her a multi-millionaire because she goes, "I'm going to put it all out so raw. You're not even going to believe how raw it is."
But Cardi B is not at that point in her career right now. Like she could shut it down. She like Lady Gaga, you know, has shut certain things down. Like you have to get to a certain level and then coast.
Yeah.
But Bieber is at that level. So the fact that Hailey's out there,
She
like,
shared that they
sharing
had a
all that
threesome.
Okay,
Noah?
so first of all, it was like such an innocent sharing of information. She said that the two of them are not interested in threesomes, that, you know, they it's just not something for their relationship. She said that her favorite position is doggy, but she likes to
very
switch it
Bieber,
up
yeah.
here and there. And then she addressed the whole Selena Gomez accusation, or not that Selena Gomez accused her. I don't know the story exactly, but the rumors were that Hailey cheated, was the mistress of Justin Bieber while he was with Selena Gomez, and she denied
We
it.
need to move on. I
Next-
can't contribute to this at the speed and volume that I want, and I feel insane.
Okay, Mr. Belding. What do you
Next question.
Okay, I get the next question.
What do you miss?
Andrew, what new hobbies have you gotten into with the time off from the road and the pod over the past 3 weeks?
New hobbies? I I don't know. I live such a boring life that all I'm doing is these freaking F45 classes. I'm absolutely obsessed. I think I'm addicted. I think I've done 14 days in a row. I feel like it's a positive addiction still. I can't wait to get my affliction shirt once I get jacked enough to. I don't know. Like, I don't really have that many friends here. So it's like a sense of community. Like, I go there just to be around people so I'm not alone. It sounds sad. It's like my best friends are just like culty
Yes, I get
Jim.
that.
And so, like, I don't know. I mean, it's just a way for me to, like, communicate with people and just feel like I'm part of something. And, I mean, that's really what I've been doing. That and just picking up Mango's shit. I never realized how big cat shit is until you own a cat. And it takes up... My apartment's not big enough for how big his shit... He takes
Don't
trucker
you have a
shits.
litter box?
Yeah.
Does it make the whole place smell like litter box?
We're pretty good about cleaning it. Yeah. I think your nose... I think you become...
Yeah, like they nose blind.
Does it not use the litter box?
He does. I want to teach him to freaking use the shitter. Like that cat in... what was that?
Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents. Oh, that would be fantastic. Someone told me they had a cat with disposable thumbs that can open jars.
Disposable?
Opposable.
What is it?
Opposable.
No, he got rid of them.
Yeah. He had the option to.
You know, these words, can we stop with all of these different ones? Can't one word mean 40 different things? Why? You know, like a Chinese symbol can mean like... Yeah. Disposable should be opposable. All the bulls.
Andrew, what would you do if you had to type what you say?
We should hand this over to Andrew for a little bit and see what happens.
You ever do spell check and the word doesn't come up?
Yeah.
Ugh, that is
horrible.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
Yes, I had that today.
What word?
Ancestry.
Diarrhea always gets me. I know it's like people say it a lot, but I never. Wednesday.
When we get to it, I will tell you.
Oh.
I can't spell jewelry. No matter how hard I try, I always spell jewelry wrong.
That is a tough one. What is it? Jewelry. You feel like there should be more at the end there. Maybe that's what the problem is.
Or less.
Yeah.
We should have a
because
spelling
we pronounce it. So many people pronounce it jewelry, but it's jewelry.
Oh, it is jewelry.
So I haven't picked up any hobbies. I've been playing golf less.
I had a question for you. One day while we were out, I noticed that on Instagram you had posted something about jiu-jitsu places in St. Louis. I was wondering what that's all about.
I just wanted more friends.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good gyms.
There are, and you know, I'm worried I'll get hurt. Like that's my biggest worry is that I'll do one of these jiu-jitsu. Some guy will put me in an arm bar. I'll be too meatheady instead of just tapping. I'll try to like do, and next thing I know, he ripped my arm off, and I'm like, well, I still got my ego. I'm just worried about.
You learn who you're rolling with, and then you like learn where their limits are and if they're meatheads, and then the guys that are like too intense, you just don't roll with them anymore.
Have you done jiu-jitsu before?
Yeah.
Is it
at Gracie in New York on 32nd Street?
Does F45 ever injure you?
One time it did. I hurt my calf, and then so now I don't do any exercises that will possibly hurt me. That's my new thing is I stay within this parameter of my old body, and I will keep getting better as long as I don't hurt myself.
You pull a Tom Brady.
Yeah, if I help you move your fucking heavy bed and I pull my back instead of lifting exactly like the way I want to lift. I don't know. I mean, Noah, you do jiu-jitsu all the time. You went to a tournament recently. Now, is jiu-jitsu getting too big for you where it's not punk rock anymore? I feel like you like a band like Suicide Brains or like Texas Toast. I don't know. Whatever the bands you like.
You took two great bands. You took Bad Brains and Suicidal Tendencies, and you combined them. Very good.
Well, but is jiu-jitsu, if it got too big, would you not like it anymore? Like, because it is growing like crazy.
It is growing. Tom Hardy just got a lot of attention put on it because he won a bunch of tournaments. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think jiu-jitsu is such a positive thing. And I think if more people have it in their life, we would have such a better place. People would be in such good moods and stuff. It's not aggro like what you painted.
One time years ago, One time years
It's the
ago,
remix.
I like
Diddy
it.
over here.
It is the remix. No, I agree with you. But if everybody knew jujitsu, people would walk around with a little bit more humility because
Yes.
everybody would know, like, hey, we all speak the same sort of language, and it isn't like an aggressive thing. It's kind of like a bit of like it's like chess, and it's like art as much as it is like, well, it's a martial art, but there's
Yeah.
an artistic side of it, and it isn't fully violent. There's like
It's like half violent. My older brother's addicted. Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
he'll like roll for like 4 hours, like crazy. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those sports that if you get into it, you're so into it, you stop picking up your kids from school.
Yeah, it's a great sport. No, are you a purple
this is
belt?
now like 18 subjects ago, but one time years ago, Chris injured his shoulder or back helping move this dumb Craigslist shelf, and I have always felt bad about that.
Yeah, and I had to stop like training and stuff. Yeah.
That's good. You got to stay within.
I think that's why
stay within your
Giselle
parameters,
and
man.
Tom Brady are having trouble. She wanted him to move some big dresser shelf that Nikki doesn't even have anymore.
Wow, dude, how funny would it be though if you're in a tournament and it's like whatever, and then you look over and it's Tom Hardy, or like you're about to wrestle Tom Cruise? Like, do you think it'd be harder?
That'd be so cool
to beat the shit out of like an actor who isn't even real to you. I mean, I'm trying to think the equivalent of like
Everyone is just
female
so in
thing that
jujitsu. If you train, and Chris, I'm sure that you also got this ethos. Like, it's a body. You just get to train with different types of bodies, and every single body is worth something because it's different, and you learn how to deal with all the different versions of bodies.
Absolutely.
So that's all
when
it
you're
is.
and when you're in there, like you're not. I don't think anybody who's doing jujitsu is in there thinking about, oh, this is Tom Hardy while they're doing it, because once you start doing it, you're competitive. Like what you do takes over, and like the feeling of like, if his arm moves this way, then I've got to go do this. So all of that stuff sort of dissipates. But Tom Hardy and Tom Cruise are intense guys. Did you see that Tom Hardy movie with
the wrestler?
No, I think it was like the fighter.
Bronson.
No.
It's called.
Oh, the Warrior.
Oh no,
The
the
Warrior,
Warrior.
yeah.
It was from the wrestler guy, I think. But anyways, yeah, I did. It was incredible.
Nikki, did you see that movie? No.
Jiu-jitsu sounds spiritual.
I would say that it is.
It really
I think Nikki
is.
would love it.
I think so too.
You should come do it sometime.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Her hair.
Just put it in a.
It's a,
No, you can
it's-
tie it up.
It
Go
can
ahead,
be
Noah.
managed. I can help you with that. It's definitely worth
I'd be
it.
so
At least
down.
even just to try.
And only like 10% of the moves are hair pulls.
There's no hair pulls. Okay, can I
Oh,
can
what
I
about
ask
the
my
nogi?
question? I have,
Yeah.
a burning question for Nikki. All right, I think I'll combine these two. Are you allowed to have Starbucks? And does it hurt to swallow?
Good questions.
Is that just for
Sorry to
Starbucks
be-
or anything?
Well,
I can do Starbucks, but I have to do decaf now, so it was an adjustment.
wow.
You're
There is
off
still
caffeine.
some caffeine in decaf, but so much less. I got terrible headaches at first, and I think I still suffer the withdrawal effects of lethargy and depression. I am glad to be off caffeine though. Not totally, but mostly.
Do you think you'll go right back to caffeinated coffee the moment? No? Oh, okay.
No. Wow.
And does it hurt to swallow? No, the only pain I ever felt was in the 5 or so days after. The pain was from the instruments that were used to keep my mouth open resting against my tongue and throat during the procedure. So they bruised me. It felt like I had strep throat for those first days, but I just took Tylenol and it was fine. Vocal cords themselves do not have nerves, so there is no pain where the cutting and lasering took place.
This, to see what he showed us the surgery the next day, and he's in there with the tiniest like knife, like cutting things.
Yeah.
And he's just cutting a crucial part of Nikki's body, like kind of the most crucial part of her career. And okay.
I thought you were gonna point lower, but the yeah, it's literally like playing. Remember that game Operation, where if you touch the metal sides,
Yes.
I fucking sucked at that game. Now imagine doing
Is that-
that.
this
where you
doctor-
get sued every single time. You will get sued out your ass for malpractice.
He
He might win, but I don't know.
Chris, were you nervous? Like now that the surgery has passed, were you kind of nervous about it?
No, I was never nervous. I was just sort of worried about Nikki and like the emotional effects that I thought were going to like take hold. But I think these last 3 weeks, I mean, I don't think they've been easy, and I think there's been like, you know, emotional times for Nikki for sure where things have been hard. But I think you've handled it much better than I thought. Because I just thought this was going to be so difficult to not be able to communicate and to struggle to communicate. And when people don't, you know, like how frustrated are you, Noah or Andrew, when people don't understand you, even when you're just like talking like normal, and when somebody doesn't understand you, it's like, you're like, is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with them? Like to not be able to communicate is really difficult. And I think she's done a great job. But no, I wasn't nervous because this doctor, you know, he's the best in the world. You know, and you're just like, okay, cool. He's gonna get this thing done. So I was never really nervous about it. Even when I went in that first day for like he put the instrument down her throat, we saw what was happening, where he was going. It was gross, but I wasn't nervous.
Does he have different actors and stuff on the wall?
Did you get jealous?
Please.
Different things to do in the back of the throat. Speaking of that, I have a question for Nikki. When having sex, what noises or gestures do you do to let Chris know it's going swell? And has that changed? And do you pick up on these gestures, Chris? Second part of the question.
I want to say that his office looks like a Planet Hollywood.
Really? He does do it?
Chris's
he does
office?
Isn't that against HIPAA, though? Wouldn't that be against HIPAA?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different when it comes to celebrities, but they're everywhere.
Do you feel like you're at the Comedy Cellar watching?
John Mayer, and then I asked,
because they give him the headshots.
There was just a story about 50 Cent. I don't know if you guys saw it. He's suing a plastic surgeon because she was using a fan photo she took with him on advertisements for penis enlargements, and he doesn't want to be associated with that. So
that would be HIPAA. That would be problem.
Well, you know, Urlacher, I think, has the same sort of thing. There's ads all over Chicago about hair replacement, and Brian Urlacher, I guess, has like a full head of hair now.
Yeah,
and they're implying that they're the ones that gave him his hair back, but I don't know that they are.
I think he's involved in it. I think I saw something where he's making money off of it. Okay, I'm pretty sure.
I thought I saw either I saw something or somebody was like, "Oh yeah, Urlacher is furious about these." Glaze wants to talk.
And as far as your sex question goes, Andrew, thumbs up goes a long way. Although I am not going to say where I put those thumbs up.
Oh.
Sex has been as good as ever, although I can't involve my throat anymore either vocally or physically. But I think the most rewarding part of silent sex is that now my voice gets to match what I do physically in bed. Nothing. I actually do miss being able to just be sweet things to him in general. Not just in bed. I came up with a sign language thing that I made up which means I love you. Ironically, he hates it. Here's what it is.
No, I'm not doing it.
What is it?
I will not be a part of this.
Oh, she's...
So it's a weird thing. Yeah, it's some kind of jerking off motion with the thumb, which I think...
jerk off his thumb.
Yeah, it felt very lovely. It felt...
Well, because I started with this thing like, is everything good, bad? Is everything okay? Then I hate it. I hate it.
I don't know why you would. Seems so loving. I didn't know about this caffeine thing. I mean, we all know Nikki very well. I mean, I know this isn't a question that we had prepared, but to find that out blows my mind. Like almost more than not talking to giving up caffeine. I would feel like you'd be going through withdrawals like crazy. Like you'd have what, 4 or 5 a day?
Headaches were seriously so brutal, dude.
I mean, it's a drug. No one drinks more coffee than Nikki. I really pretty much out there. And the fact that you had to quit that cold turkey, did you know that going in? No, right? Holy shit.
He said something on the Friday or the Thursday before the surgery.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you went through
and lethargy and just so much depression.
Yeah. I mean, you rely on coffee. I mean, Starbucks is going to take a hit.
Caffeine is a brutal drug.
Yeah. Seeing Dave Matthews and not being able to sing aloud, do you think most concerts no one should be allowed to speak or sing? Should everyone lip sync? so you could actually hear the guy that you paid $100 to see. Death to all sing-alongs.
I love singing at concerts when the band encourages you to do so. Like for a couple lines per song every 3 songs or whatever. The first concert I went to where I could not sing anything was Wilco, and I felt a bit muted in just having to lip sync, and then Dave Matthews I felt a little less so. By the time Taylor Swift rolled around, I know that I can lip sync without making any noise, and it is just as satisfying as singing. So yes, I think people need to try it. If you are someone who sings at concerts during parts that everyone is not singing together, or at parts where the artist is not throwing the mic toward you, then you have a personality disorder that should be examined by a doctor.
Yes, dude. I am so in agreement with that. Like, there's nothing worse than when you want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear Elton John. I want to hear.
Let me say that one more time.
Yeah, go in there one more time.
If you are someone who sings at concerts during parts that everyone is not singing together, or at parts where the artist is not throwing the mic toward you, then you have a personality disorder that should be examined by a doctor.
I love that. I mean, how many times have you been at a concert and some drunk person is next to you and they're just slobbering out Tiny Dancer? And you're like, dude, I want to hear the words, you know, and all I'm hearing.
They should be executed on sight.
Yeah. How? Shot? No, you probably don't want to do a shooting in front of all the people. It had to be a silent injection. How do you feel about that, Chris? Do you think that, hey, I'm here. I get it. The community, everyone's singing together.
Yep.
There's something beautiful about the artist just giving it up to the audience, being like, you take away this chorus, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are moments that are very clear where everybody should be able to sing, and you know, moments that people should not be singing. I think that most music fans understand those moments. But yeah, you're right. There's always some drunk person that's doing something that you're like, come on. Every time I go to a concert, I don't know if you guys have this, there is somebody who becomes like the greatest enemy of my life, especially in standing concerts where you're like, dude, I'm standing here, and there's always somebody who's like rubbing up against you a little too much, or like doing something that is absolutely annoying and inappropriate. But the singing thing, like, you know, if it was Tiny Dancer and it's his last song of the night, you know, it's anybody should be able to just sing at will, sing the whole song. But then there's those deep cuts where it's like, okay, we don't need every single word out of you. You know, and then choruses come along. If you're like, if they do like 3 songs with their friends and the choruses are really important to them, have at it.
This is coming from someone, I've sang many choruses, and it's been the highlight of my life, of singing it with buddies, you know.
But I've seen people try to prove that they know the songs, and that's inexcusable.
Dude, I was at a Fish concert, and the guy next to me had a broken leg, a broken foot, right? And if I got near his foot, he talked shit to me. And then if I went to my left, I was in the hall of the stair. I was in the stairwell. And then the guy doing security was telling me, stay the fuck away from the stairs. So I was stuck between a broken foot and the stairs, and I was losing my mind. And all I'm trying to do is enjoy bouncing around the room. And I'm not bouncing around the room because I have to stand like this, dude. But the guy was it's funny when you go to these concerts where you think everyone's going to be chill. And especially a Fish show, you know, like everyone should be on mushrooms. No, they were
stuck between a broken foot and stairs sounds like a Fish lyric. It is very clear when everyone should be singing. Andrew, you should never sing even if everyone else is singing.
First of all, I've been working on singing. Give me any song. I'll give it my all. My all. I'll give it
everything. We have to go to break.
We have to go to break, baby. I fucking love you, silly. Take it away, Noah. Thanks.
Andrew.
Burning questions for Bob.
Oh, man. Sounds like he's not in heaven.
Wait, so what is this? What is this segment, Andrew?
It's called Burning
I don't
Questions
know. It sounds
for
like Bob Saget. Yeah, Burning Questions for Bob.
So we did a segment when Bob Saget joined us on the show very early on. Each one of us got to ask him a question, a burning question that we had for him. And now we honor him by just calling any kind of question segment Burning Questions for Bob.
No, I like that. But I also wanted Andrew to struggle through explaining it himself.
It just makes it sound like that Bob Saget's talking to us from hell now. And it just isn't really. It's not. I don't know. It looks. He'd probably have fun down there.
Yes, it does, and he would love it.
Yes, he would.
Yeah.
He
Well,
would,
speaking of
burning up.
struggling, I have a burning question for Nikki.
Go ahead, there, Noah.
Okay, so I was very curious if Arlo and Poppy, your nephew and your niece, if they understand why you can't make sounds, and then if you have come up with like a way to communicate with them.
They don't know exactly why, but they love it and like me so much more because they are just interested in it. It is funny to them. Also, they started talking to me so much more. Arlo keeps saying I love you to me now. Over and over. It is so cute and everything I ever wanted. The worst part of being silent is not being able to talk to my dogs because they do not understand.
Right.
You cannot explain it to them. They are so used to high-pitched voices and questions. You do not realize how much you talk to them throughout the day until you cannot anymore. I have asked my parents to keep them through this time because it is just too weird and they are just so confused and hurt by my silence. Talking high-pitched is like a treat to a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
The
interesting.
opposite of a treat for a boyfriend.
Arlo, I like that you play hard to get with it. Like he's like, I love you. Like I love you. Like the more silent you are, is it annoying not speaking? Like is like what's defining you now? Like if someone was born with one arm, they'd constantly have to answer questions about it. What's the most annoying questions you have? And like, it's got to be annoying that this is all you are now, is a person that doesn't speak.
The most annoying thing is that people cover their mouths sometimes, like speaking to me already before they knew I could not speak back was offensive. I feel bad every time. They seem to think that not only can I not speak, but that they should not speak too, just out of solidarity. I do not blame them though, because it is really bizarre for a woman to approach your cash register, and when you ask her if she found everything all right, she shows you her phone and you have to read some shit really quickly.
Yeah.
Oh.
It would be amazing to have a Karen moment when you can't say a word.
There is something confusing about somebody not being able to talk, and you get it conflated with something with hearing as well. Because I still, like, you know, I mentioned it last time, like, sometimes I'll just increase the volume when I'm talking to Nikki. Just, there's something that is initially confusing about it. And, you know, how often are people confronted with this? It's, you know, never.
It's just not a normal handicap or one that we are familiar with.
Right. Not at all. What about you guys? I mean, how is it, Noah, what's your experience with Nikki been like? Has it been a struggle? Has it been fine?
Well, I keep wanting to say, hey, if you want to just like get on the phone real quick, and then I have to stop myself.
Have you accidentally
saying
called
that.
her before?
No, because I like consciously, I'm like, oh, I can't call her. I'm also used to getting voice notes from Nikki, which I don't get, and I kind of miss.
I miss voice notes so much.
Yeah.
And dictating texts.
Courtney kept thinking you were mad at her. So Courtney from the radio show that I do, she was just like, I keep thinking Nikki's mad at me. She's like, just why won't you talk to me?
Yeah, voice notes, it allow like so many things obviously get lost in text. You don't know how a person's talking, what's their vibe like over there. Usually I read it in the worst way possible, even if they're like, if they just write okay, I hear okay, like okay.
Yeah.
With attitude.
Like I hear
Yes.
everything as like a bully would say it to me. So when you hear it in a voice note, it just proves like, oh, I was right. She is actually hating. I miss her
Things are
hating
actually
me on my voice.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, if you're wondering what it is, yeah, it's way worse. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's have you written more? Have you been more
I have
productive?
become a much better writer in all of my girl group chats. I can't be as funny without talking, sir. I've had to get much more creative with writing.
Oh, that's good.
Are you writing more other things or just text
No.
better? Was that your full answer for that one?
Are you kidding me?
Are some relationships suffering more than others? Like obviously we're hanging out more because you're always in town, but I imagine some people who you are more used to talking to or like stopping by or something like that. You've just sort of,
Or you don't want to talk, or you realize I don't need to talk to this person, which is so sad.
Yes. That's true. But most of my relationships are via text, so they aren't affected.
yeah, that's good.
Well, speaking of relationships, Chris, I was wondering, now that Nikki is off of tour and you guys have your weekends together and kind of like this normal relationship flow, what have been some of your favorite dates? to go on.
Well, my favorite thing that we've been doing consistently is there's this amazing park in St. Louis called Forest Park, and it's like, there's part of it that seems it's like a little bit up on a hill. Do you know what I'm talking about here? Is this your favorite too?
Art Hill?
Yeah. No, it's not Art Hill, but it's just like they're like soccer fields, and they're kind of like maybe the highest point in the park. And I've said this I went to school in Colorado. I've lived on both coasts, and I love a good sunset. And I've always said a Midwestern sunset is very underrated. There's just beautiful colors, and you don't need a mountain, you don't need an ocean, you don't need like cool buildings in New York, even though all of that stuff is amazing. A Midwestern sunset is amazing. So Nikki and I pretty regularly have gone to Forest Park, play Frisbee. Nikki will bring the dogs. We'll play Frisbee.
You're like Tim Allen for St. Louis.
Do you ever feel the cool breeze of a Michigan sunrise? Tim, if you guys haven't heard Tim Allen's Pure Michigan commercials, they're the most soothing things that I know about in the world today. They're like serene and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I want to move to the Tim Allen Pure
They
Michigan
make me want to
commercial.
fuck Michigan.
I want my whole life to be.
I want to
Pure
know
Michigan
kind of
commercials.
after the show, but I want to know where this place is because I don't think I've seen one sunset here, even from our building. I don't know. I would think.
Do not tell him.
No, because I'll look over.
Nikki and Brenna are up there. There's a couple that dances like
Yeah.
We are alone every single time.
in this pavilion nearby, and so that's
Well,
kind
we
of nice.
won't be right now.
No.
Well, a general area.
No, it's
Come on, give us your spot.
No, it's actually in another park. It's Lohmeyer Sculpture Park.
Oh,
Go
okay.
there.
So we'll
there
go to
we go.
Forest then.
But Nikki, do you agree? Like those are some of the most. I think those are some of our most fun things. But we also go to the same. We've been talking. We had a whole list of things that we're going to do while Nikki was in town, and one of them was like, "Oh, we should go to all these different restaurants," and literally we go to the same one 4 or 5 nights a week. It's just we can't help it.
I
It's-
love that.
It's called Revel Kitchen. It's like
Oh.
in a parking garage basically, and we go all the time, and it's good stuff. It's real. It's good. But we
fantastic.
also we went and did
Next
yoga
to a Best Buy.
next to you. It's behind. It's like it's in like the alley behind Best Buy.
Right next to My Lee restaurant, which is great pho,
Yeah,
actually.
I hear really good things.
Yeah, it's very solid
But
pho.
we
Yeah.
went-
It's like where Adnan killed Heyman Lee.
Oh, okay.
A Men's Warehouse is right there, too. I almost brought a
Cereal.
shirt. Okay. We're having fun. So you haven't been more
Serial
productive.
podcast shout out.
Yep.
Oh, Adnan. He got out. I mean, did you feel like he was... did you listen to Serial, Chris?
No, I wasn't involved in any of that.
Noah, did you listen to it at all?
I did when it came out. I
Did
was
you
obsessed.
think he was... After hearing Serial, were you like, he's got to get out. He's definitely innocent?
I don't think I felt that, but I stopped
didn't either.
following the story. I thought they kind of painted him as guilty.
Guilty-ish. I don't think they painted enough of a
He is
story.
very guilty if you ask me, but I do not know the new developments.
Right.
However, even if he was guilty, I think 23 years is enough to serve.
Yeah, as a 17-year-old boy that killed someone, I don't think you should get life in prison.
For like an
17.
inconclusive murder. For like a potential murder.
He was 18.
No, 17. You can't even go to war. You could kill a woman, huh? What?
She says he was 18.
He was 18. He was 18.
I mean, look, I don't want to get
He
all
was
Adnan,
18.
but
He was 18.
17.
He was 18.
17. What came out is someone was threatening the girl's life, who is now in jail for assault and like rape and battery, like this horrible person. I don't know if he killed anyone, but like, and the prosecutors never made this like aware, the defense aware of this, so it was hidden. So that's why things
I
get
can't
thrown
wait
out.
for the next installment of the podcast.
Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. Are you in them? You're not in them. Did you watch the Dahmer thing? What do you feel about that?
No, I haven't seen the Dahmer thing. Nikki had a point a little while ago about like nude pictures. Like there was what was it? Like when all these nude pictures of a bunch of like, I think like maybe A-list celebs came out. Maybe Jennifer Lawrence was on it, and people made a good point. Or Jennifer Lawrence or some of the celebs made a good point where it's just like, yeah, you shouldn't look at those. And Nikki had a joke where you're like, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to look at them. And so there is a thing right now with the Jeffrey Dahmer thing that's like, we're still celebrating these people that have like murdered
They're still alive.
horrible
Yeah, it wasn't
things.
that long ago.
And the families are still
Yeah.
around, and every time,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if they make a Jeffrey Dahmer film every 20 years, and then a documentary, and then a podcast, like all these families are gonna have to relive this stuff, and it just stinks. And so I don't know. I'm not like crazy about that stuff anyway. Like some people are obsessed; they have to see every murder podcast. They have to do. I'm just gonna pass on this one.
It would be funny if like halfway through they took some liberties on the direction of the story, and they make him like they have a redeeming like character at the end. Well, they made him hot. Like he's hot, right? Like what?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, he's like a sexy Joe Pera. Do you know that he's a comedian? Where a lot of people are comparing him to Joe Pera, and they think that he stole Joe Pera's voice. And Joe Pera's this guy. His jokes are all like, "I'll talk you to sleep." Like you would never think he was a serial killer, or you would think he was a serial killer. And now this guy is like the bad version of him. And it got to the point where Joe Pera had to answer questions, or at least he did it for publicity.
Do you guys know about the Iceman? He was a serial killer. They call him the
what did he
Iceman.
do?
I think he murdered a bunch of people. I don't really know what he did, but he just murdered a bunch of people. And my roommate, like 15 years ago, Sex King, he
Also a murder?
no, well, not that we know of. But this guy used to run a trivia. Well, anyway, he would listen to this guy. He did overnight shifts at a kennel where he worked, and he would come home and he would listen to the Iceman's voice. He was a serial killer, but he did like documentaries, and he would listen to the Iceman's documentaries as he fell asleep because this guy had such a soothing voice.
Oh my God. I don't know. Was the Sex King?
I watched the John Wayne Gacy docu-series and it's great, and I thought that it made me realize the victims were actual people. Before the doc, I didn't even know about these poor young boys, but now I know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point because it can make you watching a fictional thing. You care for the character more than a real death at times. Like, oh my God, they killed off fucking Timmy. Oh no, like people really get sadder than like an actual Timmy. No, Timmy's really dead. It's like, no, but I really liked him in the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or like you find out the real actor died and you don't even care as much as that character he played.
Right? Well, did you see the Dahmer thing?
I saw one. I've seen one episode, and it just didn't. It just doesn't make me feel good. I watch those shows, and I get in like a bad headspace. Like it doesn't. I can't like be like, okay, let's watch that and let's go play like Jenga. Like it like takes me down. It like really depresses me.
I originally thought John Gacy killed like 10 people, and now I know it was like 30 poor gay boys that had been lost and never searched for because they were gay and their families were ashamed.
And they were all like in the basement, I think, at his house.
Well, that's kind of what Dahmer did. He killed people that he didn't think anyone would care. It's gone. And it's actually like a pretty good move if you are a murderer.
Awful.
Final thought: you don't want to kill, someone that is like, oh my God, the homecoming queen. Like everyone would be like, let's get a team together.
It's an Andrew Collin pro tip for all you murderers out there.
Yeah, find someone that no one gives a shit about. I mean, it's so sad, man. But yeah, they made Dahmer. He's kind of like sexy in it in a weird way. They make it sexualized.
That's not good.
That was John Wayne's mistake.
Who did he kill?
Finally killed someone who people cared about.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it is weird that you always find out the murderer is like the boyfriend or the husband. You know what I mean? Like, it's always usually that simple. It's like, well, who's the first to do it? Who has a motive? That's why if you're going to kill, you got to kill random.
Avi told me that when he was a kid, he lived in Maryland, and his family went away for the summer. His neighbors were murdered by the painter.
What?
So it
What
could be
was the
painter.
reasoning? Was there a motive other than did they not pay him? Did they complain about how the paint dried?
They're just a murderous,
A murderous painter?
just a murderous painter.
See, that's the thing. I mean, it could be tied to him so easily.
This is why I lock my bedroom door at night.
Lock. This is why she locks her bedroom.
Oh, so no one sees your paint job that you did in there of all pink?
Julie did a great job.
Chris, when you sleep in there, do you...
It's not enough to just lock your front door.
So you think a murderer breaks down a hard front door and goes, oh, I'm good on the second door?
I think it gives you just a little bit of time because if you hear the front door breaking,
Yeah.
and then you've got time to do at least one
it
thing.
buys you time.
You know how quick I could break that door if you locked it? Seconds.
Yeah, but even if Nikki get out her phone
I'm just saying.
and call me and I could hear what's happening, that would do something.
For you, you'd be ecstatic. You crazy man. You sex king.
I couldn't scream.
Oh, you couldn't? Oh, my God.
You would have to.
What a dilemma.
Yeah.
Holy
I would
shit.
have too.
Your career or...
Yeah, your
Your life.
How funny would it be if like the murderer shows up? He's like, you have a knife. He has a knife, and you're like, I am scared. I just can't. He's like, no, I'm going.
Well, yeah,
that's the
like
whole
if he gets
thing, like
frustrated that you're not screaming, what the hell? I broke
Yeah,
into
that's
the
what
wrong
that's what
apartment.
it is for him, is to terrify somebody.
I mean, I think a lot of it is power and seeing the fear in the person. And Nikki's just like, I am scared. I feel bad right now. I don't want to call my friends. Yeah, what's that?
I have been having suicidal ideations during my depression during this time, and I didn't even get to fantasize about it because I just spent 50 grand on my new throat and could not waste that.
Oh, Glaze. Speaking of Nikki's depression, the people that have texted the show or like Instagram Nikki nice things during this, I just want to say thank you, because yeah, there's been some dark times for old Glaze, and it's nice to have a few lovely messages from besties and supportive things. And people said nice things about the first weird podcast back with the robot voice, and I feel like that's really nice of all of you guys to help lift old Glaze dog's spirits.
Yeah, people have been really like patient and cool about taking the time off. I mean, obviously we have a pretty good excuse, but still, it's like, it's not easy to have a show that you hear 4 times a week and you rely on it while you're driving 3 hours in traffic, and it makes you a little bit happy with your life. So we will be back, or we are back in a weird way, and thank you for being patient, for sure.
And sorry that you have to hear more of me talking and so much less of Nikki.
Oh, same. You're like,
And
I
people in
actually...
Europe were really cool about me rescheduling my dates there in May.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. They
Yeah,
were in
that's
October.
huge.
Now they're going to be in May. And I think there's like 6 or 7 shows in maybe Sweden. I think there's one in
There's a
Israel. I think there... Yeah, I think there's one in Paris.
NikkiGlaser.com/tour for all of the updated tour schedule, because Nikki's getting a bunch of
wouldn't
new
you-
dates on the calendar.
Wouldn't you just prefer me to sort of half guess them? Or
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
you're just going to send them straight to the website where they can find it easily? Instead of
sure
me
her booking
being like,
agent would love
maybe
that.
Oslo?
So thank you to everyone that understood about the date changes. I had to cancel some in America too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But a bunch of those are getting rescheduled, right?
Yep.
Yeah, good.
NikkiGlaser.com/tour.
Well, or I could just start guessing them. I think maybe
How
Albuquerque
about,
was one of them.
would you like to guess Andrew's tour dates? Because he's got a couple of those coming up too.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be in
Stockholm?
in St. Louis,
Oh, St.
October
Louis.
5th.
Well,
6.
October 6th.
But if you show up on October 5th,
You get
you
in
the
early,
best
you get a
seats.
pretzel.
Good seats.
October 6th, St. Louis Helium. Come out. Your brother, Tim,
Yeah, Tim Convey.
is featuring. He's a
Ooh.
fantastic comedian, and he's just like a better looking, taller version of me. So I'll get through that in the first 5 minutes, I hope.
You'll cover all of that?
I'll try.
That's good.
But yeah, or AndrewCollinComedy.com, Austin, Indianapolis, some other places, just like Howard Dean. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Hopefully Nikki will have the same British voice, or not. Hopefully not. Are you meeting the doctor? You're seeing the doctor?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. So we'll find out more. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening. And
Jack Post.
Jack what?
Jack
Don't be
Post.
and
Jack Post Malone.
Jack Post.
Love Jack Post.